Welcome to Heroes of Drakemire preview video, you dragon hunting bastards. This is a promotional overview mixed with first impression thoughts. Link to Steam store page is in the description with free demo being available. I have played closed beta of full game version for about 8 hours, so take into consideration that some things might change by the time game is released. What is Heroes of Drakemire? It is close to classic JRPGs with turn-based combat and art style. Art style is quite appealing and easy on the eyes, with big-headed characters with angry eyes. It definitely matches adverse writing style in a way that cute colorful sprites work well with silly humor and angry eyes with serious goal of defeating a dragon. Indie RPGs at times completely ignore presentation aspect and just put out bare minimum, but some like Heroes of Drakemire utilize appealing art style, and when it complements the writing style it adds to immersion and overall likability. Visual presentation is the least important thing in RPGs when it comes to graphical fidelity, but art style comes a long way and everyone can work on that regardless of funding. Combat animations are something that I value a lot in every game. They are minimal but enough to not have Microsoft Paint sprites battling without moving anything. Enemies also look good as there is no style discrepancy. Writing to me is the biggest selling point of Heroes of Drakemire. Made me laugh quite a few times. Wish there were more interactions on the road, as clearly writers have talent in that department. Simple but effective. Story starts off with Grandpa sending his son to pick up mushrooms for lunch. Son Brutus though wants to become a knight and feels like his talents are wasted on such trivial tasks. This leads to very funny first encounter with Grandpa and the newly acquired party member found while searching for mushrooms that has no memory. Had to share that moment as it made me burst out laughing. I love silly humor like that, and there are quite a few similar moments. There are in total 6 heroes that join the party over time with different personalities, with Brutus at the helm. Brutus isn't very smart, but very determined to kill the dragon. Thankfully his party members can't think for him instead. Character stories unwrap as general story progresses. General story is quite simple, which is to kill a dragon. There is also a typical addition of corrupt and suddenly over-aggressive creatures that are connected to the dragon. Game is structured like classic JRPGs in a way that there are cities, villages where shopping and upgrades taken care of, after which dangerous areas are traversed where battles randomly occur. World is full of upgrade materials that are used in hubs for different effects. Upgrade system is connected with trading, similar to MMORPGs where materials can be used as currency to be exchanged for upgrading abilities, buying new ones, with added magic and physical defense upgrades. Flexibility is much appreciated as it would otherwise make it a bit frustrating. After figuring out that rarer materials can be acquired through trading, upgrading characters becomes much easier. This is where Heroes of Drakemire is not gonna attract a lot of hardcore RPG players, as it is very simple. 6 characters definitely add diversity, but due to character progression and combat design it limits tactical options. Characters are upgraded in a linear way by buying new abilities that are locked by levels. So more levels means more abilities. Each character fulfills a role like mage, rogue, fighter and healer, and they are defined through 6 attributes that scale differently for each character through level ups. Not much wiggle room to create specialized subclasses. Combat is where most of the time is spent. It is turn-based and challenge is to get through dangerous areas without autosaves, with occasional save points to next location. So mana and item management is crucial, which is a good thing. Characters have options to utilize normal attacks, abilities and items. Looking at turn order screen, player needs to decide best course of action to minimize damage taken, items used and mana spent while choosing best offensive abilities to deal with enemies as soon as possible due to another fight being right behind the corner. Would prefer to choose action for each character when their turn is, instead of preparing actions beforehand. Sometimes heal and enemy priority changes with first few actions during the turn. Interesting mechanic is that each offensive action is divided between body and head strikes. I like that, as against each enemy you can get more out of each strike if correct targeting has been used. However, system is unrefined in beta with inconclusive damage results at times and lack of insight to what would be better used and why. Abilities and attacks in general need a bit more balancing, clarity and reason to use over another, but I'm sure they will polish that for final release. Monsters are interesting in visual design with some cool ideas like goblin kicking a barrel into you to do damage. More attack animations like that would be great. They would also benefit more from having unique and varied damage type attacks and by having unique resistance setup. Resistances, damage types for enemies and characters, buffs, debuffs and similar things would add a lot to a game like this due to a lot of time spent fighting. To conclude, Heroes of Drakemire is a charming game with really good writing style that is gonna make you laugh at times, keep interest in the story and characters while also offering challenging runs across dangerous areas. Simple and effective. If looking for a nice story to experience with interesting characters and humor without wanting a lot of depth and complexity to combat and character progression, this is the game for you. Anyway, that would be all, thanks for watching and thanks to company that offered this promotion.